Due to a severe injury on my back, I ended up having a microdiscectomy. And I'd like to talk about why I decided to have the surgery, whether I regret it or not, how was the recovery, the most difficult part, and what helped me and what didn't. Hi, I'm Chris Sauer. Welcome to Quest for Beauty. In this channel, we explore beauty in a more meaningful way, as a way of healing and transcending. And today I'm coming here to share with you a recent healing journey that I took on. And I believe that healing is something that has to happen in so many different levels. So that's why I decided to share with you this healing journey that I went on. So let's go back a little bit and talk about the injury. On Valentine's Day, I went for a hike with my husband at the Griffith Park. And on our way back, I slipped. I didn't fall, but I felt a pinch on my back. When I got home, I started icing my back. I have an infrared light, so I started doing that as well. I took a lot of teas, for inflammation. I did Epsom salt bath. I did a vibrational platform. I tried inversion table, and I continued to stretch, and nothing was helping me. Because the pain was so persistent, I went to see my acupuncturist. And he also gave me some Chinese herbs. So a friend recommended a chiropractor. It was incredibly painful, but it helped for, maybe a day. But then it started to get, worse and worse and worse. And I was panicking. On Easter, I fainted because of the pain, and that was like 6 weeks after my injury. So I went to see an orthopedic, and at that time I wasn't even walking anymore. So she orders an MRI, and voila, there's this huge hernia with extrusion between my L4, L5 disc. So she prescribed me opioids for the pain, oral steroids to help take the inflammation down, and she suggested that we did an injection, a steroid injection on my back. I did the injection. It took the pain down from a 10 to an 8, and still I was on opioids. I was very resistant to go see the surgeon. I already had in my head that I would not do the surgery. But that changed. It changed after one day that I realized that I started losing weight. To my shock, I had already lost 30 pounds. I felt like, oh my God, what's happening to my body? I'm disappearing. Also, it was hard to eat because I could not sit, because sitting is just the worst position when you have lower back pain. Everything I had to do was laying down. And then when you start thinking about all the things that you were not doing, the things that I like doing, I've been always a very active person. So I found myself depressed. It's very interesting how the body works, and that's why you have a physical problem, but that affects your mental state so much, and your spiritual and everything around you. So, that's why healing really has to happen in a more holistic way. I knew that I needed to make a very tough decision, and so I decided to have a second opinion first. I scheduled an appointment with my family's doctor back in Brazil, and he said, Chris, I understand that you're trying to deal with this in a more natural way and less invasive, but, there's a lot of material that escaped your disc. And this might take months before your body can reabsorb that, or even a year, and you don't even know if that's gonna happen. You might consider that you might be doing more harm to your body by not doing the surgery. On May 13th, I had my microdiscectomy. The pre-operation for me was the most difficult part because of all the COVID protocols. My husband was not able to enter the hospital with me, so they finally gave me something for anxiety and I passed out. Next thing I remember is waking up in the recovery room. The surgery only lasts about an hour. After 5 hours, I was walking out of the hospital with no pain on my leg and I was coming home.
So I just got home from the hospital. The ride home was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I have a little bit of, pain from the incision. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say is a 2. This is day 1 of my recovery. Now at the end of the day, I even managed to come outside and walk in my garden a little bit. No pain on my leg. That's like, oh my God. We are on day 2 of my recovery. I feel much stronger to walk around. I'm way less tired. And the only pain that I still feel is on the incision. But I was already able to drop the medication by half. Today is day 3. It certainly did not meet my expectations. I stopped the Narcos today, so I think I started having withdrawals. I got shivers, I had a horrible headache, and I even started having a little bit of like a phantom pain on my leg. It kind of freaked me out a little bit. I didn't feel like walking, I didn't feel like doing anything. I just felt like laying around, pretty grouchy. So today it's been a full week since I've done my microdiscectomy and I'm feeling much, much better. The leg pain that I was feeling completely went away. And this morning I still woke up with a little bit of soreness, but it wasn't that sharp pain anymore. And then when I went for a walk, it completely disappeared. So I think the secret is to keep on walking. Even if you walk slowly, just keep on walking. When I totally stopped all the painkillers and everything that I was taking, that was such a relief. Although today I know that I would probably had talked to my doctor about how to, taper off of the medication because it was very hard. So that's something that you might want to discuss with your doctor, how to taper off of the medication once you're ready to do that. 2 weeks after the surgery, I went to have my first post-op and the doctor removed the dressing. And I asked him to see the picture that he had shown me when I was in the recovery room. And then when he showed it to me, I was like, oh my God, this is all the material that was pressing against my nerve. And no wonder I was in so much pain. I cannot even imagine how long it would take for my body to reabsorb all that material. I don't regret doing the microdiscectomy, but I also don't regret trying the more natural approaches first. I think it's very important to allow our bodies to respond to one treatment or the other. One thing that I would have done different today is that I don't think I'll ever let anybody adjust my spine or any part of my body without having an MRI. It was after my adjustment that I was not able to walk. So today is week 3 after my surgery. Tomorrow I'm starting physical therapy. I don't have any pain on my leg anymore. I'm taking 0 medication. I still wear the brace and I ice my back. I feel like it really helps because of the scar is still a little ugly and sensitive, but is getting better every day. I like to analyze everything that happens in a more holistic way. When I think about my injury was on my spine. What is the spine? The spine is what gives our body structure. So my structure was imbalanced. And the exact position of the injury, the lower back, what is the lower back? It's like our foundation, what gives us stability. So that was compromised. That's where the root chakra is, the Muladhara.
And the muladhara, it has to do with the sexuality, it has to do with stability, the foundation, creativity. So all that was unbalanced. So I'm still learning from this injury. And another thing that I learned is that pain is something that keeps us in the present moment. Our society is so desperate for distractions. When I was in excruciating pain, all I wanted is, my brain to turn off or to go somewhere else or to get distracted by something. But the pain was keeping me in the present moment, was keeping me in the now. So, all these things, I think it has really the potential to teach us something, because when we look back, in our lives, the most difficult moments is where we learn the most. So I'm still learning from this injury, and I hope that you liked the video and that I was able to help with my experience. And if you have any questions, please leave in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer based on my experience. So thank you so much for watching. Namaste.